Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports Songs Podcast. We're on season 7, episode number 19. Andy, tonight's a songs edition where we review an album. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Excited. I'm really excited for this one we're doing tonight.
Okay.
Brings back memories.
It's a band we've never done.
What? One hit wonders of the 80s we did.
Yes. One hit wonders of the 80s. This was on there, and everyone's going to know this song, of course. But an album we've never featured as far as a band we've never featured before. And what I'll do here is we're going to do a little Georgia Satellites. And
yes,
their debut album. Here we go. Get this out of here. I'll hide some of this stuff. There's the full album. The dude's in a bathroom stall now, right?
Well, yes.
This is fair enough. That's all fair game here for a rock album cover.
Budget was tight,
This is the debut studio album by the American Southern rock band Georgia Satellites. It contains their biggest hit, Keep Your Hands to Yourself.
Yes.
And so that's what we did. One hit wonders. Everybody at the time knew the song. But guess what, Andy?
Yep.
It only peaked at number 2.
Right.
Number 1 that year that they couldn't power through and overtake was Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer.
Yeah, that was a tough album.
Boy, oh boy. And that makes sense. Bon Jovi was just huge. This is 1986. This album was released 1986, October. The genre is Southern rock and hard rock. I'd like to get more of your thoughts when we get into this, but that's fair enough to me. It's 37 minutes, 26 seconds long. Love it. 10 songs.
Yep. Boom, boom,
boom. Very good. Another minor hit they had on this album was Battleship Chains. Battleship Chains. We'll get to that when we go through the album, the track listing. And I didn't know this, but it also contains the cover of Every Picture Tells a Story, written by Rod Stewart.
Yep.
I listened to this album without looking at the track listing, and I'm like, okay, I know this song. I think that's an old Rod Stewart song. And sure enough, that's what it was. So the album was a commercial success and certified gold right away, and then platinum in August of the same year. So it went right away to platinum. Makes sense because everyone was buying this album.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the one song and because of this new up-and-coming band. But
and the sound.
That song, Battleship Chains, by the way, did reach number 86 on the U.S. Billboard Top Hot 100. The band would go on to release 2 more studio albums after this one, but none featured a song with nearly the radio and MTV success as Keep Your Hands to Yourself. And then the band went on to split in 1990. What's your thoughts on that, MTV and radio?
The song was an MTV hit and kind of an MTV darling in a way. It was just a band on a hay wagon. But their sound, I think, is what helped them a lot. It was that Southern rock. The thing about Southern rock is it never flooded the industry. It was always one band out at a time. That was Southern rock, But the lead singer, we'll get to that later, he went on to a solo career and was a one-hit wonder as a solo also. He's done like a dozen solo albums or something like that, but just no airplay. He just keeps plugging out albums. They've got their niche following. So
just kept pumping out things, pumping out music. So here's the track listing, and jump in here if you know any information on these songs. Number 1 title. The song number 1 is Keep Your Hands to Yourself. Right away, they put that as number 1. Very interesting move there. If they knew they were going to, move with that song and go big with it, it would have been kind of in the middle or something. But they kept it.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that because usually, very rarely is the first song, first side, your first release, unless they tried something different. But I don't know.
And we'll touch on more about that here in a bit because I have a question on that myself. But here's the rest of the songs: Railroad Steel, Battleship Chains, Red Light, The Myth of Love, Can't Stand the Pain, Golden Light, Over and Over, Nights of Mystery, and song 10, the cover, Rod Stewart. Every Picture Tells a Story. So it's a simple 10 songs, 37 minutes, These songs
Wait, I'm gonna
are,
stop you right there. You got the track listing in front of you, right?
yes,
How long is "Keep Your Hands to Yourself"? What's the time on that song?
326,
And on the last song, how long is that one?
523.
Okay. Cassette player in the car. You listen to song one, a little bit of two, and you flip it over and listen to that last song. That they bookended the cassette tape perfect like that.
I see. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. And that answers that question. Now, as
Because
far as the song,
I'd done that many a time because I liked those two songs. They bookended the cassette. It was perfect.
yep,
So I
I
played the
like it.
snot out of that.
That's very good. Most of these songs are 2, 3, 4 minutes long. They're very easy listening. One could almost call it country, the sound of this. It's almost a country rock. What are your
It's
thoughts?
it's modern day country, yes.
Okay, got it.
How's that sound for an answer? Is that
Yeah.
politically correct? I got around that one.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that when I was listening to this because I knew you'd be a big fan of this music. I would call this very easy listening. What it reminded me of when listening to this, Andy, was back in the day at a keg party or a barn party or something where they'd put the tunes on and just press play. This would be an album you
Yep.
could push play and just let it go in the background
Yep.
at a weekend bonfire party or something like that. All the songs are good, but they're not ones you're singing along to except for the first one. Is
I've
that
heard
correct?
about people doing things like that. I never participated in that stuff. I just, from what
Nice.
I've heard, yes.
But it's just all the songs were good. There's no real throwaways, but none are really, really good that you have to stop what you're doing. It's just easy listening music.
And the first song, really, the song they released, just his voice, the way they kind of overemphasize some things, is what made that different than the rest. Not per se better, but just
Okay.
different.
You mean more produced in the studio?
Yeah, let's do it. He kind of messes with his voice on
Okay.
over twanging on some words and stuff like that. That kind of made it a little something different. Now, yes, like I said, those first song, last song, I played in cassette in the car a lot. Did I do it the whole trip? No. Oh, that first song, and here's the second one. Okay, next cassette. Because great sound. I couldn't, like I said, good thing's only 40 minutes. Because I don't know much more I could do with it. It was been overkill then. It was a nice different sound. But if it was a 50, 55 minute, I don't know if I could stomach the whole thing.
Yep. I could agree with that. So the lead vocals, Dan Baird does 7 of the 10 songs. He does the lead vocals on the first one, Dan Baird,
Yep.
and a mixture of songs throughout. Rick Richards does vocals on 3 songs on the album, including the final song. So
Yep.
what's your thoughts on that?
And I think that's why I like the two, because it was two different singers.
Okay. Now, bass, Rick Price on bass and Mauro Magellan on drums. Now, get this. And this is for 9 of the songs on this album was Rick Price and Mauro Magellan. But for song 1, the one they released, Keep Your Hands to Yourself, Randy DeLay was on drums and Dave Hewitt on bass. And so they had specifically went out of their way to record that song. And they knew it was going to be a radio hit, correct?
Right.
And then they got the rest of the band together and just plowed through some also rans.
Yeah, I want to know why they changed band or why those guys were just on that one song and not the rest. I'd love to know the story behind that.
And hopefully with the listeners, leave your comment down there if you know that answer. I'm not sure. You know, they're on the Elektra label.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like they really pushed, you know, with different musicians on even that first song. And the rest were, like I said, the songs were good, but they were not. It's a definite drop off from that first song that got all the MTV hits and the radio play. That was just, it almost seemed to be produced rather than just original music. That's why I like the rest of the songs as authentic, organic music was almost better versus the, you know, produced. Let's produce this to make it be a hit rather than just organically growing it to be a hit. All tracks are written by Dan Baird. So these are all his, that lead singer you talked about, who did 7 of the songs. This is all his baby. So it went on to go platinum. That makes sense. I had one other note here. Let's see if if I can find it. Oh, the album was produced by Jeff Glicksman, known for his work with Black Sabbath. Now that I found interesting.
Okay. That is very interesting to hear that one.
Yeah, I did not know that. And this was done down in Georgia, recorded at a studio in Atlanta. So Southern rock, hard rock, I would call it almost fun rock or party rock or easy listening stuff. So anything else on this one, Andy? That's all I had here for my notes. That's the album cover.
You know, that's I'm just looking up some of Dan Beard's stuff. He did a lot of solo stuff. Like I said, he did 5 solo albums here, it looks like. He did half dozen or so with Georgia Satellites. The Harshed Mellows, he did an album. The Yahoos, he did a couple songs. As Dan Beard and the Homemade Sin did about a dozen albums. The Bluefields, he did 4 songs. And he's done stuff as early as 2020 or as recent as 2020.
Oh, really? Okay.
With the Bluefields. So he's still out there making songs. I have not heard any of these, so I couldn't tell you what they sound like. You know, if he's still got that same sound, if he's changed, I don't know. So with that said, it's worth a Spotify listen to find him and give it a shout, see what he says on it, you know. I liked the first album. I heard his first solo one. I Love You, period. You Love Me, question mark. That was his song off of that one. You might remember that one. So with that said, I think it was a little overplay on it though, because it's a little over too twangy on the songs, his voice. But apparently he's got a niche following. If he's done between all his different bands, 3 dozen albums, still going as of 2020. You know, someone likes it enough to keep making enough money to keep pumping albums out. But like I said, it was good. Around the Fire song, Outside. I think if our genre put it in today, we'd get halfway through that third song and say, throw this crap out, next one.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. It's
I think this album would have done good in today's, like we were talking about last week with Badlands. That song would have really blown up today with the streaming success, how streaming charts are right.
Oh, yes.
You know, because how many artists today, rappers I've never heard of, have more chart hits than the Beatles? It's like, how the hell is that possible? Because it's ranked differently now.
Yeah.
Between the streams and radio. You know, so if they had the streaming stuff today, I think the Georgia Satellites, would they have been the Beatles? No. Would this album been more successful? Yes. You know. But I said they were second to Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi, if they had streaming back in the 80s, holy Christ, they'd blown things up. Bon Jovi, speaking of that, though, like I said, no one could get past him with that record run there. But on MTV, they had a show called Dial MTV. You called in your request for videos for the day. They played the top 10 at 4 o'clock. Bon Jovi couldn't get past. They stayed at number 2 for like months, stuck behind Home Sweet Home and Motley Crue. And I kid you not, that was like for 3-4 months. MTV had to change the rules on how long a song could be eligible on that chart.
Oh, so really?
Those same 2 kept hitting the whole time up there for months.
Okay.
And they had to change the rules. And again, you talk about like certain movies, how they came out at the wrong time. All these other movies blew up. That one got lost in the shuffle. This one kind of got lost in the shuffle. Mid-'80s, hair bands were real popular. This kind of came as a Southern rock, under the radar, but you weren't flashy. You weren't MTV enough, you know.
And their follow-up album was called Open All Night, 1988.
Yep.
And I don't recall, hearing anything about that at all. But this is talk about a one-hit wonder, one of the best.
News to me that his second album until I looked up again. His solo stuff, all the stuff he done.
It's interesting stuff, but a great answer for a trivia question on any kind of one-hit wonders. This Georgia Satellites always seem to come up. We've done it on our show. One of the songs, everyone's going to know the song. But yes, was it overplayed? Boy, it got to be a thorn in the side. But very good. Made them some bucks. Leave your comments down below, everyone.
Yes, it did.
And we'll touch base here next week. Have a good one.
Happy trails.